All right, so this is the Lutron computer right here. This box is the actual computer and server itself. Blue light has to be on for it to work. Sitting here at the engineering shop computer. This toggles between the 3 monitors, and you can use the keyboard and mouse as you toggle through. So if this is not plugged in, the iPad will not work and this system will not work. The lights will just go as they normally do but you can't make any changes without this computer being turned on. So first off, you want to make sure this is saying running, and then down here both running. If they're not, it will say stopped, and then you will just need to click start services right there to get everything back up and running again. Over here on the left hand side, if for any reason this Lutron Services Manager is not running, you can click on this quantum and it will open up that Services Manager first. Over here, there's a couple things. There's a couple documents. There's a time clocks document. This will show you how the time clocks are set up, the timing of everything through the day, but it's also shown through the app. It's just some notes from the installation team. The network details are here. So this wireless network, SSID and password are used for the laptop to access in the room. This NUC, a NUC is that computer. That's what it's called. I don't know why it's called that, but the IP address for the access to it is here. And then in order to access the Lutron system, there's like a main computer in the first floor electrical closet in the back on the wall. So this computer basically accesses that main computer, and this IP address to establish communication is right here. The program used to establish communication is called View, V-U-E, and here's the login for it. So in order to log in, we're going to copy and paste that it has to be HTTPS. Then we're going to open up Edge, and we're going to right click and paste it in there, and that should bring us to our home page. So I'm already logged in. If I wasn't logged in, this password right here on the front of the computer is what logs you in to the computer. When you get on the home screen, there's alerts here on the left. Right now we have a couple devices not responding because as I record this video, it is March 20th, 2025. We are in living room renovation. So we have a number of items that are off right now. This will show you like the schedules of the building and what the timing is. You can make edits, but I would suggest you do not because it is on an astrological clock. So it's already pre-programmed to the sunset and sunrise outside. Then we're going to use up here on the top left corner, we go to really, we don't use quick controls. You're gonna go up here to floor if you want to make any changes to the system. So right now you can see there's a couple of red exclamation points. A lot of that is because we have breakers off in the building and they're not responding on the dimming racks. But if we want to make some changes, there's also a drop down right here, and you can select first floor, second floor, or Lulu's has its own zone. So we're gonna go to second floor, take a look at it. Right now, some of the things are grayed out, but they do work. I don't know why they show as gray, but you can click on any section and it will work. Like for example, pre-function right here, we'll click on it and it will just show on, off, or up or down, right? We don't really use this. If we want to actually go in and make changes, we're going to click on Area Dashboard. That's going to bring us to alerts, schedules, or tuning. If we want to change a schedule in this area, we can. So instead of the schedules on the main page, changing the entire schedules for the whole building, we can go into just one zone and change it. And we can look at the way it's set up. Like in pre-function, there's an awake schedule that goes until 7:08 when sunrise happens. And then from sunrise until twilight, it's all on that same sunrise schedule. And then it will change at twilight and then go down to moonlight. So if we wanted to make changes in here, we could just by clicking on one of these and changing it. So we go back to this main section. We don't use tuning. Tuning is for changing different lights or LEDs, we want to use lights over here if we want to change the percentages. So right now, if you look across this zone in the pre-function on second floor, only has 4 zones of lights. You've got recessed low voltage MR16s. So those are the little tiny bulbs that are way up in the ceiling, recessed. This PA and PC and PD, this is a label for it in the in the blueprints, which I'll get to as we get a little bit more granular later. So just for right now, let's say you want to make changes out there. The ground lights out front of the studios are too bright. We want to bring those down, right? Right now it's set at 60%. And right now we are, it doesn't say which setting we're in, but we would be in one of these settings. We could go back and look. So schedules right now, we're in, I believe, sunrise. So we go to lights, go to sunrise. This is the setting that we're currently in. So these are the levels that it's currently set at right now. So we would want to go to these ground lights, these recessed in-ground low voltage MR16s. And I would suggest if you're going to make changes, you have someone actually go to the area while someone's down here, because we're going to make a permanent change. Now, if we go down and we change this to 11% and we say, great, okay, that's how we want it to look, right? If we just set it like this, yes, it will stay at 11%. But unless we save this, the next time it changes, this will go right back to the way it was, and we'll lose our changes when it changes to twilight at 7 p.m. So you've got to go down here and save levels to lighting scene. So it's going to save all 4 of these settings to the one that we have selected, which is sunrise, and it will save it. So I'm not going to do that though, because a lot of these were set by the lighting designer. So we're going to, right now we'll just leave it. Also, if we wanted to rename lights and scenes, we could. But I mean, this is what is written on the buttons in the room. So this is not something that we want to go in and change, because it will make permanent changes inside here, which will not reflect what's on the buttons upstairs in the rooms. If we look at, let's say, we look at Lulu's second floor, right? We can see the pool table area, we can see Lulu's, the elevator, the coat closet, the office in the back where Sushi Baibu is. We can also see the terrace. So let's look at the terrace, because I think it's a little bit different than some of the areas. And click on, oh, no, we don't want to do that. Click on area dashboard. All right, no alerts. It's good. It looks like someone turned the lights off, which is great because I think we're dark for events today. But if we wanted to click in here, right, it will show some of the different lights. Festoon lights are those hanging lights. So there are 3 or 4 zones out there. There's a north, south, center, and I guess 2 center. So right now it's off. If we set everything to high, look, the levels change all up. And then there's also a full on. So right now all those string lights are on. There's really not a lot of lights out there. You just have string lights and the patio wall wash lights against the wall that's below fit. So we're gonna just turn these back to off. So let's look at an area where we have more than one whole page of lights. Let's look at second floor, probably the ballroom, okay? So we click on the area dashboard. It brings us to right here. So you've got alerts, schedules, lights, tuning. Everything is off right now. Someone must have turned it off on the wall switch in the room because we don't have any events. Okay, so we see we've got a whole bunch of lights in here. See, there's a bunch of crazy numbers on there. It says 81Z2 BM track circuit number 2. So BM is the circuit number. There's like BM, BN, BO, BP. And then track, which is the type of light. So there's track lights. We go further on. Track lights are those little spotlights. There's also troffer lights. Those are the ones that are like in the coves up top. And then the theatrical ones are the ones that are kind of in a, they're the bigger floodlights. So all of these are off right now. But if we were to click, let's say like meeting, you know, we just don't like how it sets up for groups and events. Maybe the settings just aren't right. We can click on meeting, right? In a meeting, this is what our levels will look like. We use this little arrow to go back and forth between. We can set, okay, we want the track lights to all be at this when we're in the meeting setting. Once we get everything dialed in and we like it, we have two people, maybe one person in the room, one person down here. We click on save levels to a light scene, and this will save. This is the same exact thing as the button that's in the room. So these light scenes over here on the left, when we make that change, it will save there on the light switch. I think that's pretty much, oh, we can also look at in the ballroom, let's say. I know why they're grayed out, because they're off. So anytime a lighting zone is off, it is going to turn gray. Other thing, there are devices. I believe, yeah, we don't use this. I think this pertains to the air wall and the curtains, because they are used on the Lutron system. But don't worry about that. That is all just programmed in here. That's pretty much it for the actual system itself. I do want to quickly talk about, though, those abbreviations. Let's see, we'll look at the lobby. So when you're in here looking at lights and you're like, well, I don't know what light this is. You know, if you're on here and you're trying to go up and down on these levels and you don't see where the light is, this little acronym here, LB, LA, LC, LD, LE. So this one, for example, is the concierge wall. So on the computer right here, there's a file called lighting prints. We open that up. We were just looking at the first floor. So there's first floor, 1A, and 2. We're going to look at first floor. All right, so that one particular light was called concierge wall. So you go over here. We just want to confirm which light they're talking about. When I'm looking at prints in this building, easiest thing, or any building, easiest thing you want to look for to get your bearings is, I don't know if you can see my mouse. You can't, kinda? No. There's the elevators. You can see elevator 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. They're in a triangle. They're on the same on every single floor. So if you're kind of lost of where you're at, I always start from the elevators and go, okay, where am I? So just north of the elevators, this is the living room. We can see the curved wall. We're gonna go over to the concierge. Here's the grand staircase. There's our concierge. So right here, we're looking at those lights. So it was LE on that print. You can see, oh, my mouse is covering it. That light on the lighting system also shows LE right here. So when you're looking at lighting prints, right, any standard lights in the building are a number for a breaker. So H means high powered, forget about that. But so it means a high voltage panel. But 9 is the breaker number. However, because Lutron only deals with the dimmer racks, which are much different, they use letters to differentiate. So instead of number 9, it will be letters, LI, LD, HE is not, because see how they're both capital? That means high voltage emergency panel breaker number 5. That's dummy power, non-dimmable, but dimmable ones, capital letter, lowercase letter. These are the spotlights that come down in the main welcome desk area. LA, here's the actual welcome desk. You have LB for the lights that are over top of the desks. LG for the trough lights that are in front. Li. So if you ever don't know where a light is, right, and you're trying to figure it out, dim it up, the chances are, because we renovated, it might have been removed. But if it wasn't removed, you can use the prints to kind of pinpoint exactly where it is on the set. So, okay, I think that's all I got. If it's anything outside of this, just call Lutron. You can call, her name's Geraldina. There is also a Lutron support number. There's also a company called Paratus, who is local to New Jersey, that will do all of our service. So if you just type in Paratus into Google, you can call them. Oh, one last thing. There's also a panel schedule. There's a couple guides in here. So there's a user guide for our quantum system. So a lot of the stuff we talked about, navigating the home page, navigating all this. If you want to familiarize yourself and learn all of this, there's a great 154-page document in here you can fall asleep reading. Then there is, these are the updated prints. So in 2024, we went through and we upgraded from Graphic, which was the old system, to the new system, which is called Quantum now. So when we did that, part of that proposal was to have them create new as-builts. They took a new inventory of all the lights, and they updated everything. So they gave us this good set of prints that has a lot of updates and changes in it, and it has some notes in there. So that's in that folder. And then the last thing is they gave us this really nice up-to-date panel schedule, although I don't really like it because the problem is they updated it. So on the breaker panels, the dimming rack panels in the electrical rooms, there's big black dimming panels, right? Each individual breaker, on the breaker itself, there's a number, like tag on each one, and that pertains to this column. But what they failed to do was there's an original set right here in the shop, dimmer rack schedules. So what I did was I took this out, the one that's on the computer, I printed it out here so you have the same one. However, this is the original from 2009, right? I like these better because they actually have the name of the lobby and everything. They have that same Lutron circuit number, but these letters correspond to the prints. I couldn't get them to do it, but these customer zones that correspond to the blueprints are not in this new O&M document that has everything. It just doesn't show it. So it's here and it's updated, but it's pretty much useless without having this to look at it in the blueprints. So I keep this in the front page here. I would suggest you use this when you're troubleshooting. Okay? Don't waste your time trying to go through each breaker and try and label them at the panel. Everything is here. Cool. All right. So that's a duplicate. If the binder ever gets lost, you have this as a backup to print out. I would suggest putting it into plastic sheets so it doesn't get ripped out and you don't lose a page. And then the originals are in the E drive under that one that I had printed in the book. Those are in the E drive under the lighting prints. Okay, hopefully this was helpful. Thanks.